my name is Juliana. I do poetry in my free time, and you don't often find me without a journal or computer. I often find myself at a stopping point where I can't think of any more ideas for poetry. Many poets have this problem. We call it writer's block, though for this situation we need something slightly more specific. Poet's block. Today I will tell you guys a couple ways that I, personally, have managed to escape the horrors of writer's block. Mostly I use the internet or things around me to find new ideas. I will show you some of these prompts after a short commercial.
I'm so in tuned to myself. I can write till my heart's beat. My blood is the flow. Listen while my mind speaks. My vocal tone moans a life of my own. My mental zone reflects a black Al Capone. Visualize life as it's seen through my eyes. Then you realize what really lies in these real eyes. I used to sit back and reminisce. Pops popped that Remy and Chris, searching for the currents of bliss. He faded in the mist. Streets made me, Mom Duke soft and raised me. Amongst the same streets, the bullets tried to graze me. Eyes red, blood shot from their gunshots. Eyes open wide shut, the dope and wide sluts. Who, when, where, what? Questions I asked when I was too young to understand why people pass. Now I'm older, heart's more bolder, and I've witnessed more than Jehovah. Like through my eyes, full exposure. Like through my eyes. Listen, even if you blind, my words provide 20/20 vision. To portraits I portray your voice crystal clear. Listen, Stevie wouldn't have to wonder no more at how this world looks on a block or whether on tour. Lyrical portrayal and vision much more than the average Joe. Vocal vibrations leave you seasick, no average flow. My wavelengths average foe. My voice carry like Mariah. I take you on this journey, walk you farther than Hezekiah. Walk with me.
Alright, do you enjoy our very interesting commercial? Well, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by awful commercials, here are some ways to escape writer's block. Well, often I put myself in the perspective of a plant or animal. Not sure if that works for any of you, so I have another prompt to go with that for those who don't do nature poems. You can write from the perspective of a person you know, or even a character you've seen on a show or movie. This has always allowed me to put my mind somewhere else and escape into the poetry. Another thing I tend to do is find an emotion or color and portray that through the poem. As in, I take sadness, for example, and find a way to incorporate that into a poem and evoke that same emotion throughout the reader's mind. Works similarly with colors. I find the emotion that a color evokes in myself and use that color to describe that emotion in a poem. I also find a broad topic, such as love or war, and describe my view on the topic. I find that this kind of poetry works best when it's emotional rather than analytical. Now we get into a more specific prompt that I personally love. I find that people tend to have different reactions with each, and I enjoy seeing the poetry of those who use these prompts. One that I personally love is writing a poem about one of the seasons or incorporating all of the seasons into one poem. This is a very nature-related poem, so I realize that many of you may not use this. But for those who enjoy writing about nature, this will bring out quite a bit of description. A much more humorous prompt would be to write a poem using only cliches or irony. I've seen this done before, though not as often as one would think. Another that I personally enjoy is writing a poem to either your future self or your past self. It lets you look back on things that you've done and look forward to things that you haven't done. One that I see a lot is writing about a dream, though because it is a dream, no poems will be quite the same. It's very interesting to see what goes on in a poet's head by reading their dream poetry. One that gets interesting and unique is finding 5 random words. This can be out of a dictionary or any other place that you find them. You have to incorporate those words into a single poem.